Sorry about it. Hello, everyone. I am Tacet, and welcome to the Gems of War stream. Today, we are mainly going to be making progress at leveling up our most recent hero class that ended up coming in, the Shaman hero class. Going to mainly just be obtaining the weapon for that, getting a little bit further in the class event, and of course, messing with the new mythic that ended up being introduced yesterday, which is still insanely good. We do need to be using it with Titan for it to be as efficient as possible, but it's still good enough with anything else that it's still going to be fine. But yeah, going to be messing around with that and mainly just power leveling our Shaman up, as well as finishing out hopefully the little event thing. We're pretty much right on top of it. We're at 435. Doesn't take that long. All we have to do is just kill a bunch of things in PvP. But before we get into that, let's start with the class event of the battles that we have for free, which is 5 of them, and then we still have the other 4, and that will definitely be enough to complete out the event. So let's start working towards that. Well, not today, it won't be an event, but you know, it'll be in general enough to clear out the event. And we're just using this. Might need to switch into a Mang-related team, but oh no, stream, why did it go down already? We literally just started. Let's see, we'll put that down. The connection just loves to do that, doesn't it? But yeah, that's a little unfortunate getting a Valraven already, because I actually don't know how well this team will perform at very high level, which this thing is. Well, we'll see. So we need to get that to full mana. I kind of have to take it off a skull, or hero's going to die due to not having barrier off a brown. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta get it its mana. Even if it dies, that's fine. As long as we get our mana here, which we do. We could go explode again, just to make sure it doesn't do anything. It's gonna be a little bit weird to do that, though. We'd probably be better off just hitting it a bunch of times with this Soothsayer here. So we'll do that just to make sure he doesn't get a skull, and he still gets a skull, and he gets a bunch of mana. And he decides to kill it that way, oddly enough. Ketris I don't think is enough to adjacent damage off of it, so we'll just take a skull and then throw this down twice. Or you know what, we can just do that, and then throw it into last slot and first slot, and that should kill him. Or almost kill him. Do that, and now we just have to hit both of them with one skull. So it does look like they have a lot of durability. So much so that I think we stopped using double Ketris. That doesn't actually seem to be doing too much to them. Especially since we're starting to take damage now, which reduces our damaging capability off the Ketris. And yeah, you already killed 2. We don't have a summoner or anything as backup anyways. And we don't have a hero with barrier. Which is also a problem with using Mang though, because if we do switch over to Mang, well, we don't have hero with barrier. So it could just be that we need to go do our power leveling on this hero class and then just come back to the class event to finish out the last few battles with Titan. Which I'm pretty sure we're just going to have to do it that way then. Just because Titan is amazing and used for pretty much everything these days. So I think we actually will leave the class event at that, just to go and power level then. Because we do kind of need Titan. It's going to make things so much easier. And get our score a little bit higher, though we're not really making a leaderboard, so I guess score doesn't really matter, because I'm pretty sure it's way above 40. If I go check this, yeah, it looks like people bought up to tier 5. Which makes sense, people wanted to get the weapon immediately. But that costs 550 more gems, of which we do not want to spend and try to save. At least this time. I've done it the last several times. Ironically, I've done it the last several times when it doesn't give it to you immediately. Yet, when they finally fixed it so it gives it to you immediately, I don't end up buying it. Which is kind of weird that it goes that way. Yeah, people are getting snow. I almost keep forgetting about that. Because, I don't know, I haven't seen a single snowflake in years around here. Actually, the one time it snowed last year. But I was up in New Jersey, snowed in, when it ended up snowing where I currently live. Oh, gosh. But anyways. What was I about to go do? I was about to go power level this thing. I don't know what I was looking at. I guess I was looking at dungeons. Let's go do dungeons real quick. I should probably do that like immediately every single time, just so I don't ever forget about them. Let's see, where's the key team? Better get oriented with it because we'll be using it a lot today. To just get all of the things leveled. At least from the PvP side. And if we find pets, hopefully we'll find a few pets here or there. Oh, so I didn't even say hello to everyone. Hello, Elite Gaming. Hello, Brian. Hello, Marcelo. Hello, JZG. Hello, Bogdan. Hello, Steve. Hello, Michael. Hello, King Larry. Hello, Rainbow Pro. And hello, everyone else. Welcome. Even without Titan last night, Brown Tower of Doom weapon, 2 Sunweaver, and Soothsayer worked well. Yeah, you can get away with not using Titan for stuff. It's just when you start going up against things that have enough stats to one-shot you, you generally need a barrier. Any instance where you're up against a fight like that, early game, mid game, late game against late game content, if you're up against something that can one-shot you, you probably want barrier. That or enough disables to make sure that it can never one-shot you. That or enough damage to make sure that you kill them before they can one-shot you. But you have to do one of the few. They obviously can't hit you. And Titan's normally just the easiest way of dealing with that. Hello, Bicker Lemon. Hello, Questor. Hello, Asthma Guy. Or Azum Guy, however you say that. Asthma Guy. Wrong word. I do have pretty bad asthma, though. Or I used to have it. I still kind of do. But, I don't know. It's gotten better over the years. It's still not good, though. Let's see. Throw that down. Kills. Throw it down again. 1 mana off, of course. Hello, Lucas. Welcome. And there we go. Okay, now on to power leveling. Well, I guess that was partially power leveling. But, now to go and do it in PvP. Oh, is this JZG? This was the same team that JZG was using earlier. Nope. It is someone else. I hate when people use this, though. It looks like a firebomb team, but then it's a really annoying mass summon team instead. Especially if they're using something like exactly what he's using, Assassin. Because there's a 50% chance each one becomes a Assassin that then is just annoying and in the way. Luckily, he's not getting really lucky on the summons. Actually, he hasn't even gotten a summon. Oh, never mind. I jinxed it. I was going to say he hasn't even gotten a summon yet. Oh, wait, never mind. That's a different weapon. That's not Crown. I thought that was Urskea Crown. He's using the useless crown from, oh, what's it called? From Hall of Guardians. It's an interesting concept of a weapon, and I really wish they would add more troops that have movement capabilities on your team. Like moving something, moving themselves, stuff like that. But, I don't know. It's a mechanic that is very underutilized in this game. The fact that things can move around. Oh yeah, I meant Demon or Angel, not you. Yeah. Now I'm confusing you guys too. Fail. I think we did find your team the other day though, JCG. Forget what it was. Or I see just about all the endgame players here or there. Just because most of them are around my level. How many hero classes do I have at 100? I believe I have 7 or 8. It was at one point half or a little bit more than half. Though at this point it's a little bit less than half because I haven't really been bothering to get any of the other ones maxed. It's something we might try doing again. And if nothing else, we could potentially start trying to do that again because we're done with delves after tonight or maybe even after this stream if we decide to do it this stream. But then again, we don't have Titan currently, so never mind, we can't do it this stream. But tonight, when we go and switch back to it, yeah, we'd be able to get away with finally getting that back up, and then after we finish out the Titan for tonight, we'd be able to go and just power level some of the other stuff until we need it for the next event. The biggest issue that normally comes up, even though we can sometimes not have too many things that we need to use Titan for, we still always have the issue of things like raids and invasions and stuff like that eventually requiring Titan, which kind of gets in the way of us just being able to use any hero class we want. And next week's is going to be raids, I believe, right? It's either raids or invasions. I believe it's raids. So, yeah, it's going to be unfortunate because that's one that we generally do need something like Mang Titan for. At least at some point within the progression of it. Maybe not on the very first day, but it's definitely something we're going to eventually need for it. Oh, excuse me. There's a new leaderboard on the Gems of War database. I didn't actually check it recently. The last time I checked it was, we were like number 3 or number 4 on the total renown leaderboard, which was pretty cool. Back when we hit 2,500, I just wanted to check it to see what was up with it. Oh, it's a total champion level thingy. Interesting. I am currently ranked 58 on it. Oh, I see. It's for class is when it is referring to champions. Interesting. But our average champion level is 76.45, which means, hey, when I said we were a little bit more than halfway there, I am literally correct. Because we are 76.45 average level, and the halfway point is level 70. So we are slightly further than halfway to completing every single hero class. And now we have data to prove it. Though just by looking at the numbers, it was pretty obvious that was the case. But, there we go. That's not what I meant to take, but I guess that also works. But yeah, we didn't even make top 50, unfortunately. We would if we got another level 100. We'd immediately take a, we'd be, if we got another 100, we'd be rank 42, tied at 42, because but we'd be a high 42. There's actually a lot of ties on it, because for whatever reason, it's doing it based on fully level champions, instead of average champion level. But I guess that somewhat makes sense. Or total champion level, it's not based off of either, just a fully leveled amount, so there's going to be a lot of multiple way ties. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting. It's something I haven't really been focusing on much lately, which is why we're so low on it. Well, we're still really high, we're more than halfway there, but low compared to, like, super endgame. At one point I was trying pretty avidly, but then we kind of stopped for a while. Might start it up again. It's just there's no real rush to try to get all of them leveled, which is why I haven't really been bothering, because Titan is pretty much just used for everything. So why bother leveling all these other things we're almost never going to use just to have to switch back to Titan at the end of it all. And also we're quite a bit weaker whenever we're using the other stuff compared to not using Titan, and it makes things just go slower. Unless we're just specifically power leveling it, like in Explore or something. Oh, so that reminds me, while I'm on that page, let's see how high we are on the total renown leaderboard. I don't think I was as high as we were earlier, but we should be pretty high. The only thing we don't have is multiple level 500s. Some people could have the pure faction a little bit further on some of them, though. Let's see, where are we currently? Oh no, we dropped down quite a bit, actually. We're currently rank 27. Yeah, we actually dipped down quite a bit. Didn't realize that many people have multiple 2,500s. But apparently they do. That had to have happened pretty quick then, in the last several weeks. But it could just be because we haven't been doing many delves lately. Also, I still haven't even finished Perfect yet on the most recent delve, and that would boost us up by a decent amount. That we'll have done tonight. Hello, King of Terror and Darkness. Welcome. And hello, J. Vills, if I didn't already say hi. What on earth is that team? Agreed with a bunch of gold-related things. Also, I know people are just setting that up to make really weak teams, but do keep in mind you don't actually get the gold from things you set on defend or the souls, neither of the two. The only thing you get from your defend teams is whenever they get a 7x cascade and they would normally get a map, you instead get 1 gem. That's what you used to get when you did that in the past, but then they changed it to a map at one point. But for whatever reason, defend still give you a gem instead of a map, which is actually better because 1 gem is better than 1 map in the current state of the game. And other than that, there's a chance every single time you take a manual swipe from the board that it'll give you a treasure map, and that it'll give you a gold key, and any of those gold keys that your AI team accumulates, you get to keep. Which is the easiest delve? From what standpoint? Different delves could be a different amount of easiness depending on what category you're considering them. Though overall, I'd say the easiest delve in the entire game from the highest resource perspective, as well as just the easiest to complete in every single way, shape, and form, overall would have to be Crypts. The reason for this is it has, well, just good in every single category. It has the highest resource gain of any delves because it has a treasure room guaranteed 100% of the time, as well as another room that likes to be a treasure room occasionally. It has a decent multiplier due to how the rooms are, the type of rooms that it has. It normally hits around a 3.9 and can hit as high as about like a 4.1 or maybe even a little bit higher occasionally with like absurd luck. Has a really, really easy first and final battle. Particularly the first battle is really easy, though the final battle is also relatively easy other than the really high true damage that it has. And yeah, it's just overall really nice delve. And has a nice layout to it. Easiest team to acquire for the delve? Well, All-Seeing Eye can be ran up to about level 200 or so, just using its pure faction team, which you can obtain for free pretty easily just with some shards. Though other ones that tend to be pretty good are anything that can run Mang into Apothecary, or have Cockatrice and stuff in it too. Actually, I believe there's one where you can even use Apothecary and Cockatrice. I forget which one that might be. I'm trying to think. Could have sworn that one of them can actually get away with that. But I do not recall which. Maybe none of them can at the moment. But anything that can run that, or similar, tends to be pretty decent. Anything that gets like a good amount of brown spam into a good brown weapon. Because all the best weapons for delves are brown. Dragon's Eye, Mountain Crusher, Mang, those kind of things are all brown in color. So here's a Tangela. Well, not actual Tangela. The Pokemon Tangela. But it's whatever they're calling it, Tanglebush. Yeah, Sea of Sorrows, that was it. Yeah, Sea of Sorrows, you can get away with the super brown spammy team. Hello, Daniela. Welcome. Hey, level 28. We're almost there. By almost there, I mean level 40. At least then we get another perk. So hello, Uki, welcome. And if anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, just let me know. We'll have a redeem code in a little bit, but for the most part, we're mainly just going to be grinding today. It's one of those kind of days. That and probably messing with the mythic a little bit here or there, if you guys want to see anything with it. And we'll be covering the videos for the hero class and the new mythic in the near future. Either way later today or tomorrow. Biggest issue with covering the hero class is mainly that we actually need to go obtain it, the weapon and everything. And the mythic we've already kind of gone over. There's really only one main team I would say for it, but there's a couple other different variants that you can build, depending on how you want to play it. Yeah, the new mythic is pretty nice. I definitely initially underestimated it. It probably is within top 5. The only real big thing it has holding it back is it has a ridiculously small amount of base damage. Even less than Goblin, I think, which only costs 6 mana. And it has a issue where that it's really bad against immune to Devour teams, for the obvious reason. Given that all that he really does is Devour. Though in all fairness, literally every Devour option and team in the game is bad against immune to Devour. That's just how it is. That's why the trait exists. Why did I not use that again? Though it wouldn't have been enough damage even if I did. Good morning, Death Shade. Welcome. And hello, Castro. Hey, he'll kill that out. Get another key. That's nowhere near enough damage. Let's actually use this again. We don't even have the gold for it. This will obviously not kill, but we need to go get it rolling just to get some damage down, so that we can kill with it. You're using Mountain Crusher, Luther, Courage, and... oh! I don't know about the Luther part, but yeah, Courage. We could get away with using a single or double, I didn't think about using that. A single or double, what's it called? Guardian team with it. And build it around that. And something I used to build a lot, though, in the current state of the game, ever since they kept, like, changing how gem spawning works, I kind of stopped using them. Because they kept making it weirder and weirder and weirder. And while they have moved it back to a normalish state in the current state of the game, it's still a little bit weird compared to what it was way back when. Which is one of the reasons I don't really care for using the Guardians too much. They at one point were insanely good, even though they've always done the exact same thing. The way that they spawn their gems has changed over time. And, like, even though it has the exact same wording, it still does the exact same gem amount. The actual function of how the game determines where the gems go has changed over time. Probably, like, over a dozen times. And in the current state that it is, it's actually nerfed compared to how it was way back at one point. It's still decent, but it's still weaker than the strongest point it ever was. Yeah, they're still nice to bring around. Courage is still insanely good at gaining attack. Honor really good for HP, loyalty, HP, humility for random stats, particularly magic and stuff like that. Anyways, let's go, and now that we're done with that pet, only got one Tangela thing, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is finish this out. So we still got another... Oh, wait. Actually, do I want to do this? Oh, no, it's only 400 extra gold. We don't need that. We don't need gold. Actually, we kind of do, but, you know, we have enough of a surplus at the moment that we kind of don't. So we just need to get about 300 more PvP kills. Let's keep working towards that. Oh, you got a barrier. Why do you have barrier? Don't do barrier. Well, so why does that hero class even have barrier? It doesn't even make any sense. The whole point of that hero class is to die out as quickly as possible. It's kind of weird that it actually does have the capability of starting with barrier, because that's pretty counterproductive to what the hero class actually is. Hey, a Zugoff. Who owns a Zugoff? I have no clue who owns the Zugoff. But someone from Ras Labone. Haven't been seeing too many Zugoffs. A lot of people do have it though these days. I'm theoretically 3/4 of the way there if I was to convert every blue orb I have into a major orb. Though we're probably never going to do that just because it has insanely bad value, and I'd rather have all those smaller blues for kingdom upgrades than the Zugoff. But yeah, we're technically, it depends how you look at it. We're either 1/4 the way there or 3/4 the way there. With how I'm going to be using my resources, we're only 1/4 the way there. But if I technically used every resource I had, we would be 3/4 completed with a Zugoff. Meaning we'd pretty much almost have a Zugoff. But not quite. Hey, new mythic. That's another thing I haven't been seeing too many people using yet, but I'm pretty sure most people haven't bothered to adjust their team after only one day. And that is the new mythic showing up in defense. Which could theoretically actually be really annoying if we don't have a lot of immune to devour. And currently we have 0. I'm not even using Titan right now, so we don't even have that. Normally, worst comes to worst, that would be what we'd use as all of our protection against devour. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Luckily that wasn't anything too important. Taking that skull first. There we go. Well, that was almost really bad. Hello, Walter. Welcome. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that either. But that's probably going to start getting used. Oh, no. That's probably going to start getting used on a PvP defend day. I don't know what day. But that's going to be a thing now. Someone, or a lot of people are probably... Everyone who owns it is probably going to run it on one of the defend days. Not sure which. But, yeah, that's going to be annoying. I guess it's somewhat counterable because you can go and put a bunch of immune to devours on your team. But if you have to go out of your way to build a weaker team just to do that, it's going to be annoying. Because he can get a pretty high devour rate, especially after he gets his first devour. He pretty much has a 100% chance to devour after that. Yes, do I think the new Goblin Mythic is good? It's very good. We went over extensively yesterday. I'll be covering a video on it soon. But the bottom line is it basically you attack buff it or have a infinite mana loop spam team. You then go and get a devour with it, and then it basically just keeps devouring every single time. The whole point of any team that uses it is basically your kill condition is devour the entire enemy team. Is generally how it goes. And it's mainly only used for, well, actually, I guess you could use it for a lot of things. But it's only pretty much used against things that specifically have no immune to devour. If they have even one immune to devour, you could probably get away with using key team and other stuff quicker than it. But assuming they have absolutely no immune, it's pretty nice. Okay, so far so good. We unfortunately lost the one, but not too big a deal given that we have the key still alive, which is the most important aspect of our team. It's pretty much our entire team, just the key. Why did he deny my mana? You had a skull that was laying there. Also, he's hit the exact same target 3 times in a row with Dragon's Eye. It feels like me whenever I try using Dragon's Eye. Does exactly what I don't want it to do. Okay, can you stop getting bandits so we can win? Let's see, we'll take the other Baron. Our mana accumulates so slow now that we don't have the egg teeth. Oh no. No! I think it was lost. We just lost. Or at least it's going to take too long to win without that now. Fail. Brown Guild War Day? Not on defend. People wouldn't use it on defend on that day, I don't think. There's too many good browns that are immune to devour. I think yellow might be one of the better days to run it on defend. But yeah, as far as invading, yeah, you could get away with it on brown day for invading. But I was referring to defend. I don't think many people will use this for invading. You can, but Devourer gets calculated a bit weird in Guild Wars from a point perspective. You'd have to win very quick for it to be viable. Hello, Demon or Angel, welcome. Any good team to defend Dragon's Eye? Do you mean defeat Dragon's Eye? Or good Dragon's Eye teams for defend? Which one are you referring to? As far as defeating Dragon's Eye, generally having a AoE mana drain like Corvash or Famine tends to be some of the better methods for dealing with it. Corvash if it's in one of the first 2 slots, or Famine if it's not. Unfortunately, those are the only 2 really good ones. I guess technically you could use Sloth, but Sloth is a bit weird. Sloth you definitely have just because it's a common, or at least really easy to obtain if you don't. But I guess you could use it as an option if you didn't have the other 2. It's really low rarity. That's one of the reasons they added it, is to have a really good early game drainer. But actually, it's one of those troops I thought would be a lot more used than it actually is. It's pretty much not used at all. Though it could just be because I'm in end game. Pretty sure a lot of newer players would end up using it. Kind of like how Gluttony is. It's something you won't really see around in end game, but it's one of the best options in the entire game for early game Devour. Oh, how to defeat them? Yeah, basically just building a team around Corvash then. Either build a Corvash team or a Sloth team. Sloth teams would be things like, oh, I forget the really good Sloth team. It was, oh, what was it? It was Sloth, Yagway. No. It was Sloth, Divinia, Yagway, and something else. I guess maybe Hero using Mountain Crusher? Because that would fit in there. But, yeah, you can build an entire team of immune to mana drain with a Sloth, or at least mostly immune to mana drain, and you would easily be able to deal with every single cast in the entire game, regardless of what it is. Not only Dragon's Eye, but every other annoying cast that there is. Because Sloth only takes 10 mana to get up, which is ridiculously easy to get up, obviously. Alternatively, you can run Corvash spam if it's in first or second slot. And if you happen to have it, you could just run a standard Famine team. You know, just like a normal damaging team with a Famine all the way in last slot. Something that has decent mana accumulation so that it eventually gets full mana. And even though Famine has a 24 mana cost compared to Sloth's 10, you do have to factor in the fact that it uses 3 colors. So it does end up accumulating quite a bit of mana that way. Which means if you're doing explosions, you're theoretically actually gaining more mana towards your Famine than you would towards Sloth with explosions. Oh no, I needed that. So much so, I think we actually just lost the battle because of that. Or at least lost it in the sense that it's going to take too long to win otherwise. But yeah, like right here, if we really wanted to, we'd just run Famine, and we'd easily counter this. We'd get rid of his mana accumulator, plus we'd get rid of his eye. Really? Really? I needed that for the gold. He just got an assassin 10%. Oh, we didn't get a surge. Gonna have to do an entire cast to get it. Yeah, Divinia Yalgwei is really, really nice combo. So is Yalgwei Queen Titania. They're some of the best combinations in the game. Yeah, this combo is still one of the better teams in the game as well. Alchemist, Moneylender, Yalgwei, Queen Titania, as well as the Tapon version of this team with Yalgwei, Titania. I don't personally use it too much, but it is definitely still one of the strongest teams in the game currently. I hope they don't nerf Key. Oh, also, I was just talking about the other version of this team. Well, here's the other version of that team, by the way. It's Flame of Fire, Yalgwei, Queen Titania, Tapon. Normally you put the Tapon in third slot, though, in front of the Queen Titania. But I guess he's using this as a backline tank, which I guess makes sense. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just if you're up against Skull Spam or something, you'd want to have it the other way around. But of course, setting it as defend, you have no way of knowing which way it's going to be. So I guess he's doing that as an assassin precaution or something. Now let's go get some more gold, because it's not going to be enough damage currently. We get it to max, throw down Key, get our kills, and do it again, and we win. Well, they try to nerf very occasionally. But the problem in the fact that they nerf very occasionally is it makes every single one of the nerfs they ever do a lot more drastic and annoying. I'd rather they nerf a lot, or not nerf at all. No, I do believe they need to. I personally prefer a game that actually does a combination of both. But does nerfing slowly over time rather than the way that they nerf, where they just basically make something completely obsolete whenever they decide to nerf it. Almost everything they've ever nerfed has become obsolete. Very few occasions has that never been the case. And it's normally in the case of really strong mythics like Ubestead, Famine, Infernus. All three of those have been nerfed, some of which nerfed multiple times like Famine, yet they're still really viable. So in the case of most of those, other than Ubestead, they were nerfed mainly because they were actually buffed at one point, and they were buffed too much when they were buffed. Infernus's damage was buffed, and was never brought back until they finally nerfed it. Famine got his mana cost reduced and then basically got it reverted back to where it was. But he still overall is actually stronger than when he was first released. He still has a better damage boost ratio, though he no longer has the jinx that he used to have that lowered masteries. But overall, I'd say he's actually stronger than when he was first released still, even though he was nerfed and buffed and went all over the place. Other than that, what was the other one I was mentioning? Ubistet. Ubistet, the biggest issue with Ubistet was he actually came in with a glitch that made him like 10 times stronger than he was ever supposed to be. The glitch being that he was able to kill things behind the position that he killed with the instant kill thing. So if he was to double kill and they were to revive, he could also instantly kill those resummons. I wish they would have kept that as a mechanic, or at least brought it in as a mechanic on something, because he was the only thing that has ever had that capability to kill a summon immediately as they got summoned. No card can currently do that. Nothing in the entire game. Ubistet, when it was glitched, was the only thing that ever had the capability of doing that. Hey, you'd rather they buff the other 98%? Yeah, of course. They really need to go and rebalance some of it. There's many troops in this game that have not been touched since day one of the game, unless you count traits. But as far as like their actual abilities, stats, mana cost, stuff like that, there's at minimum 200 to 300 troops that have never been touched since their release. Probably even more than that. I'd go through them, but we'd be here a while if I went through literally every single one. But most of them, you guys probably already know what they would be. But yeah, they used to rebalance a lot, especially when the game first came out. But nowadays, they don't really do it too much. But yeah, it is starting to become a really large number to manage. Because they have like 200 something weapons, whatever it is. They have over 500 something troops. By the end of this year, I believe we're going to have a over 1,000 total things in the game as far as weapons / troops. And by 2 years from now, we'll have over 1,000 troops in the game. Most likely. And only 10% of them will be viable. Unless they rebalance them. I thought that was a real pet gnome for a second. Why you gotta do the fake? Why you gotta be like that? Though we currently have a pet gnome anyway, so it wouldn't have actually mattered. I would have to have repicked it or just killed it. Oh, why'd I do that? Okay, good, never mind. It's still enough damage. I was gonna say. That would have almost been bad. Mitch Swarm can kill summons immediately. He doesn't have enough damage normally. Though theoretically, I guess it could. But in a late game, it would never have enough damage to come even close to doing that. No, I think at least 10% of the game is viable. Because there's a lot of utilities that are used for very specific teams that are super good. Like, for example, Greed in most contexts is an extremely weak troop. All it does is gain a little bit of life and gain gold. In the context of most teams, that is absurdly bad. But obviously in the context of gold teams, it's one of the best utilities in the entire game. It's the best gold gainer there is. So in the context of a team like this, it is really, really, really good. But in like 99.9% of teams, that's a really bad troop. But there's a lot of utilities like that, where more often than not, they're 100% useless. But there's very, very niche instances where they are insanely good. And that's where I would say there's about 10% of good troops. Because Greed I would consider as a good troop because of that, even though in most contexts he is absolutely awful. But he's used within the context of one of the really, basically strongest teams in the game at the moment. Let's see. We'll get the gold there. Grab a... let's take purple for now. Trying to get the browns next to each other. Grab all that mess. I guess we'll get this up first. Try which team. Sure, we can give it a shot. I don't see why not. We're not currently using Titan though, so if he uses hero class, it's going to be a little bit weaker. We'll try whatever you want. Someone actually using Runic Blade. Runic Blade actually is a pretty good weapon. At least in early game and for arena. It gives 10 to all stats when you get a kill. Which obviously this late in the game is pretty bad. Given how high stats are. But that is static throughout the entire game. So as soon as you own it, which you only need a bunch of green and yellow mastery for. But once you finally get it, it's, I don't know, it's pretty decent for lower level range and Guild Wars. I mean, not Guild Wars, I mean lower level range and Arena. Because even in Arena, it still does 10 to all stats, which is basically more than doubling your stats in the context of Arena. Hello, Batman, welcome. Mountain Crusher, Iron Guts, Courage, and Infernus. Oh yeah, that would work. Got the burn off of Infernus for the higher boost ratio. Got the Courage for the attack buff. Crusher for mana accumulation, and Iron Gut. Sounds like it would be a really solid team for him. And it doesn't even use hero class. So we don't even need to worry about the fact that we're not using Titan. Yeah, that was something along the lines of what I was referring to when I was saying Courage team for the Mythic. All we do is just keep casting brown red over and over again until we just win off of 100% of ours. But yeah, we'll go give it a shot after this battle. There we go. Well, Corvash actually gets a pretty quick drain now these days. You can get a, what is it, an 8 mana cost double drain off of Corvash now. Which is one of the quickest drains in the entire game currently. Actually, I believe it is the quickest. Or if not the absolute quickest, one of the quickest efficient ones. Because now you can give human 50% bonus to him. But anyways, let's go and get our next team up. Oh wait, never mind, it does use hero class. Why did I think that didn't use hero class? Obviously Mountain Crusher is hero. Fail, oh well. It's not that big a deal. It should live, hopefully. Keyword on hopefully. But we'll find out. Oh no, if troop menu will ever load. The dreaded troop menu. Hope this gets fixed one day. There we go, that didn't take too long. When troop menu takes like the entire stream to load. Okay, anyways, what do we need here? We need a Mountain Crusher. Let's see, Mountain Crusher. We need a the new Mythic. What was his name again? Oh, that is his name. It's just we're under the wrong category. Oh, it's one word. That's also why it's not coming up. I hate when they make it like that. There's some things that they have it as one word and other things they have it as two. They don't consistently keep it uniform across the entire game. A Courage, and then an Furnace to feed the Courage. And also just to cover purple. And now we're missing green, so we can go any of the minus green banners. No, we don't want that one. It's suggesting me the wrong banner. Yellow, red. Ideally, we'd want a +2 red, +1 brown. Actually, I almost feel like going a minus purple banner, because that actually would give us the exact banner we need. A +1 brown, +2 red. I wish that was -1 yellow, but I don't believe there's a minus yellow option of exactly what we need. I don't believe there is. Let's see, what are all the minus greens? I don't think a single minus green really has it. Oh, actually, +2 red, +1. Close. I would need that to be a brown instead of purple. That's still not too bad, though. It gives us the courage one. I guess we technically don't need the +1 to brown. So I guess we'll go with this. We'll go with that. It's good enough. Let's see. Alternatively, we also have the Guardian banner. So, that doesn't give us any brown, though. Is the only issue with that. And that doesn't give any brown. And that's all of them. Okay, we'll just go with this then. It seems close enough. It doesn't have any brown bonus, but it should still be fine. Yeah, it's either this banner or the +2 red, +1 brown, -1 purple. Either of those two banners would be the best banner. Oh no, there's no brown on this board. It's gonna miss. But at least we have something to go use now. And to a degree, we kind of don't need it, just because the first cast the Mountain Crusher does not require you to have... we're about to lose, actually. But the first cast the Mountain Crusher does not require you to have... what's it called? The +1 on it, because it ends up starting you at 5, so one single surge gives you full mana like that. It's everything after the fact that requires the +1. Like right there, that would have been full mana with a +1. Okay, so this team kind of works. The big issue here, though, is we don't have courage at the moment. So we'll try our Devour there. I guess we'll throw in Infernus. If nothing else, is a little bit of damage. Can at least poke them for, well, a little bit of damage. Worst comes to worst, even if it doesn't get a kill. Still clean up with Infernus. I don't like this one as much as the other one, but it definitely still works. Could just be that we're getting a really bad everything as well. It hasn't been going over too well so far. Actually, we could have to still lose this. Yep. Still could. We'll take our purple. We do have extra purple instead of the minus, so we can actually get him up pretty easily. Don't kill it. No. Okay, let's throw a Furnace for the win. And Burn will kill it now. Or Devour. Or anything. There we go. It still didn't get a Devour with 83%. What are you doing? Also, apparently we had a daily task to go use this banner. Really? That's funny. Well, we get 4 free gold keys. Better than nothing. That's pretty much nothing, but it's still better than nothing. But yeah, it works. Didn't really get to utilize Courageousness much, though, in that particular battle. But yeah, we do gain a pretty nice boost ratio that gives it to him, and we can loop it for extra attack gain. One of the only few things that can actually even extra turn off of a attack gain. Him, Justice, Humility, and that's pretty much it. Or Stargazer if it cascades. I think there might be one other attack buff or two that also can off a cascade, but it's not guaranteed. I don't think there's a single troop in the entire game that has 100% extra turn onto a Devourer. I mean, onto a Kaki, I mean. Yes, Stargazer is what we were originally using to buff it up. I ended up opting to not use it anymore, but if we're going to show a team video, obviously I'll be showing the Stargazer option. But yes, that was the very, very first team we created yesterday with it. Was some version of the Stargazer team. I forget exactly off the top of my head. Whatever it was is probably what I'll show for the video, actually. But I actually don't have it saved at the moment, though. But yeah, Stargazer works really nicely for it. The main reason I opted out of it was mainly because I found mana accumulation spam to be better than it. But if you don't have other options, it definitely works. Also, you could consider it in various options as well. It's a great way to get it to over 50% Devour rate. But still not guaranteed. I think it got to 60 every single time we were casting it approximately. Give or take a few, since it boosts ratios and gives different amounts each time. Couldn't you do a Justice map team with Iron Gut? Yes, but you might have to put your Iron Gut in a bit of a weird position, like last slot, or in front of your Queen Mab. The team would probably be Valkyrie, Justice, the Mythic, and then Queen Mab. If you try putting it in first slot, the team is going to be probably too slow to use, because you'd have a 24 mana cost you'd have to accumulate before you can start accumulating blue on Justice, which is a bit too much of a 2 in the way. Basically blocking it for half the battle. But yeah, you could consider trying that. You would just need to get a very quick Valkyrie and then hopefully have alignment. And as long as you have alignment, it would win pretty nicely. It'd be very heavily dependent on that first Valkyrie cast, though, on how quick the battle will go or how slow the battle will go. Imagine that team with 3 times damage to birding. Oh yeah, I forgot. We could just do that with a hero class too. None of the hero classes with triple to burning has barrier though currently. Hopefully we'll get one in the future. We do have ones that have partial barrier. For example, Dragon Guard has start with barrier, but it doesn't have barrier every round. It just gets to start with it, which is way weaker than having infinite barriers. Though it does have the advantage of not having to take a certain color immediately. Wow, he's actually getting Euro Loop. Haven't seen Euro Loop for ages. Level 30, we're almost there. Making progress. Actually, by the time we reach level 40, we'll probably have the weapon. Probably even earlier than that. And we're getting closer to the event done. We're within 200 range. And once the event is done, we can just power level it in Explore to get it done pretty much instantly. The weapon, that is. I think we're not even halfway there. But the second we start exploring, we'll have it done in under an hour. I know we're a little bit more than halfway there. We're at 153. We can get that done in half an hour of Explore. It's going to be a little bit slower in PvP, but we'll get the event done simultaneously, so might as well. Already have to get it done, so might as well get both of them done simultaneously. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, take a skull there. Hello, Carlo. Welcome. Yeah, Earth's Fury, we've been using him with Earth's Fury in, and probably later tonight as well, for Tower of Doom. It's actually something I meant to do last night, but we didn't have Titan for it. It is a little bit Titan dependent. But, yeah, we'll be doing that later tonight, actually. Running, what's it called? Running Earth's Fury into, what's his name? Into the new Mythic Iron Gut. Which will allow him to have 100% Devour off of a single cast. And it'll also make the entire team have a pretty decent attack. Trying to shut off the heater. It's so finicky with trying to shut off. Come on! There we go. The struggle of a little mini heater. Still haven't been able to fix the actual main unit. That's probably not happening for another year, 2, 3 years. Ends up getting damaged during the hurricane, and haven't had the money to fix it. But just been using a little mini heater device thingy. It racks up a much gigantic, larger heating bill, or you know, electric bill, I mean. But better than nothing. Better than being cold. What will you use for mana generation? Yes, Diviner. For this event, it has to be Diviner. There's nothing else. Plus, it gives you Cleanse, which is nice. The team in general has a really bad mana accumulation to it, but it works nicely enough that it doesn't matter that it has bad mana generation. For the most part. It can be a little bit too slow sometimes if you can't get Diviner up. Other than that, pretty much fine. But it definitely has a mana accumulation problem. Though a lot of Mythics have that. Any teams that get built around Mythics just because they use so much mana. Okay, let's see. Get another cast down. Key it down. And no revive, good. Sometimes Inferno King loves to revive a billion times. Which is annoying against Key because of how we do damage with it. So I guess it would help with the event. We did end up getting one battle earlier that gave us about 26 event gems just because it kept reviving, or we were deliberately letting it revive. A dragon, what's it called? The egg thief kept summoning dragon's eggs, and we just kind of left it constantly doing that. I'm still curious if anyone managed to get above 100 with it, or like all 750 with it. It would take forever, but pretty sure someone has done it at some point. It just take too long to do. Off of one single battle. That and they might have a cap on it, you never know. Pretty sure they don't. because EXP doesn't have a cap. You can get you could potentially get near infinite EXP from a single battle if you let the battle go on forever, because it's based on how many kills, not on how many not on any other factor really. Just your kills and your bonuses. That's why every single battle, regardless of how strong it is, gives the same amount of EXP normally, because you're normally fighting 4 enemies, so you're getting EXP for 4 enemies. It doesn't matter if they're level 1 with like 1 stat or max with thousands across the line. It'll give the same amount of EXP. Only affected by bonuses. What will you use for mana generation? You're thinking, oh, never mind, I already read that. My bad. Thought that was a new one. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, just let me know. And we'll make sure to do so. Good afternoon, Antitan. Welcome. Actually, it's not afternoon yet, is it? It's 11:39. Well, I guess for some time zones it's afternoon. It's almost afternoon. Close enough. In France it is, yeah, it is. That it would be. Let's see. Move that over. Down and down it goes. But yeah, I have a friend from France. I believe he's actually heading up there for the holiday season, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of like how I go to New Jersey normally. I think he's just going up there to see some family and stuff like that. Actually, I'm probably playing Smash with him after this stream. Not on stream, but you know. Let's see. We'll do that. Put the other thing over. Will there be a code today? Yes, there'll be a code. We'll have it out in soon. Oh no, he just killed my... Ah! He just killed my key. Wasn't paying attention. Actually, speaking of that, I don't even know if I'm going up to New Jersey this year or later next year. I did last year, and I have been like the last couple of years or so. But I don't know if I will be this time. Haven't really planned anything yet. It's one of the main things I actually miss about New Jersey. Well, one is snow. But the other one is pork roll, egg, and cheese. It still exists in locations that isn't up north. But down in the south, it is so much harder to obtain it. Like, ridiculously hard to obtain it. Compared to in New Jersey, where you can get it in literally anywhere. Every deli, everything has it. So that's another thing that my area doesn't have delis. Like, it just has, like, the main chain ones, like Walmart delis and other stuff like that. Like, there's no, like, small mom and pop kind of, like, self-owned delis by me. How do codes work? Do they unlock in-game content? No. Codes do not have any kind of exclusive content in them. They just give a small amount of in-game resources. A gem key, 2 treasure maps, and 2,500 gold. All stuff that you can easily obtain manually. But it's just a little bit extra resources is all that redeem codes are. You only live in New Jersey because of Porkwell? There's 3 things that I know New Jersey has a lot of good stuff of. Italian food, bagel places, pizza, well I guess 4, and Porkwell. All food related. From my experience, movie theaters are awful there though. That's one thing I do like about Myrtle Beach. There is such a concentrated competition for movie theaters here. Because all the tourists and just in general, that there are insanely high quality movie theaters by me for ridiculously cheap, like $5 cheap. Like they're that cheap. I think even full price tickets are only like $8 or something. And there are those really comfortable reclining seats that have those footstool things that come up, and they have enough room so that no heads will ever get in your way because it's elevated on like different stances, so that even if it's completely packed, you won't even notice that it's completely packed, other than the people right next to you. Or likely just going to be whoever you came with anyways. What's the fastest method for farming trophies? It is currently running Arena with Dawnbringer. Is the quickest way in the entire game to gain trophies. Only if you specifically wanted trophies would you ever do that, though. It is slower than late game soul farming teams, only able to do about 20,000 to 25,000 souls per hour doing Arena, whereas you could be doing easily over 300 or 30,000 per hour with a single Fair Shra. So you generally don't use it particularly for soul farming. It's mainly just for in late game. You mainly just do it for the best trophy accumulation in the game. That's the only thing it does really good. Hello, Gustavo. Welcome. There's almost no instance you would ever want to grind trophies, unless you're in a guild that just happens to be wanting to grind trophies for whatever reason. But there's no actual real need. Once you have 1 million trophies, there's not a single thing extra you get for having any trophies higher than that in the current state of the game. Why'd I do that? I just gave him mana. I even saw that there. It's like, oh, let's give him mana. Without Fair Shra, would Arena beat out Dragon Soul farming teams? No. Yes and no. Dawnbringer Arena is quicker than any Dragon Soul related team if you can get really, really good at it. Assuming you have no Fair Shras. But if you do not have Dawnbringer, it is quicker using Dragon Soul Triple Azurus, Dragon Soul Double Azurus Umberwolf, and stuff like that. Also, even if it is slightly slower, it is more convenient to be doing soul farming spam rather than arena, as there's less variation with a lot less variation with spamming a Dragon Soul team over and over again on the same battle than there is compared to arena. But if you like the higher variation, you can do arena. You are getting other rewards too you have to consider while doing arena that you could potentially factor in. You're getting ingots, you're getting trophies, the high trophy rates you can pretty much get. You're getting the chance of finding pet gnomes, which are only in PvP and arena, and other small stuff like that. 2 XP per battle as well, I believe, for hero, if I'm not mistaken, instead of 1, which Explorer gives, and stuff like that. Oh, he's using the new weapon. I didn't even know this. Well, he didn't get to cast it a single time. But he is using the new weapon, which we'll have soonish. We should almost be done with the event. We should need 150 kills or less at this point. Yeah, you do gain some small amount of glory keys in arena, but it's a pretty trivial amount compared to like the amount of glory you get in PvP. Hey, there's JZG. You're the one with the annoying pet gnome. Why? Why you gotta be like that? A fake firebomb team with a pet gnome on it. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it was. That died. And it's dead. The most trollish of all would be a fake, oh, we almost just lost the battle. I think we did. Rip. The most annoying of all is a fake, glory gnome, for sure. Glory gnome is the highest value gnome currently in the game. Its default drop is worth 10 glory keys, which is insanely good. And its highest drop is 50 glory keys. And it's not even in keys, it's the actual glory amount, so it's versatile in that you could use it for anything with that 1000 glory that it gives. And it still has the increased vault key chance, just like what Soul Gnome has. I should have done we should have done the dragon's egg there so that we could have killed it for 2 damage and then keyed, but oh well. Same difference. Getting tongue-tied. I will kill this one out. Normally I would avoid Drake Riders, but we get we need it for the event, so might as well. Why did I take that? I should have just taken mana. Go to my battle log and fight me? I don't think I want to. It's probably even more trollish than what you already had. I will go check what it is, though. Do you have Zugoff yet? I assume you do. But I do not know for sure. But I have a feeling you have it on... If you have it, I'm pretty sure you just set it on your team. Let's see, what are you currently using? Also, what am I even currently using? I think it's just my defend yellow team or something. Something weird. Anyways, battle log. Where are you? You're not even on my battle log. Oh, there you are. Never mind. There it is! Glory Gnome! Even better. It's gonna feel weird once we finally get a Zugoff, what I'll do with all my larger blue orbs. Because I don't really have anything to use them for once we finally get Zugoff. Though we're far away from still getting that Zugoff. Yeah, let's go see our current progress. Also, once we finally finish out all the PvP kills, we'll give out a redeem code. Let's see, how far are we? We're almost there. We only need 75 more kills. Well, 77, I guess. Right? Yeah, 77. But, yeah, we're right on top of completing that out. Point, we might as well just kill it with skulls, because he's just using fire bombs anyways. Hey, we got the other new one. We got the green one, now we got the brown one for the mastery. Well, they're actually not too new. They were at one point, but still, we still need a lot of copies of them. Oh, here's one of them that we haven't changed yet. I guess we'll change this finally. The Gob Trumper team into a key team. Might as well. If it'll ever load. Come on, troop menu. Come on. You know you want to. Pretty sure it's good. Yep, I knew it! It did the same thing last time. As soon as I grab my water, it finishes. Okay, I do need a drink of water, though. Okay, where were we? I'm looking for Egg Thief. I'm looking for a key. A Greed. And a Cedric. Actually, they should both be here, right? No, Cedric isn't. And a Cedric. There we go. And our banner changed to the minus purple thingy. There we go. It should be fine against goblins. The final battle can still be a little bit annoying, but other than that, it should be all good. Is there any other way to get rid of the guild master other than that new way? You could probably still do it via support ticket, but the whole reason why they're adding a new format is to make sure that they don't have as many support tickets about it, so that there's actually an in-game method to replace them. But I believe it's only like a multiple week inactive thing, like they have to be inactive 3 weeks or something. It's a really long time. But all other instances of removing someone will likely have to still be done via support. But yeah, that's it's only going to, the method that they're adding is only going to be for guilds that are probably like super casual, that just need a way to replace out their non-existent guild master is basically what that new format is for. Or if someone just stops playing the game or any other reason for that. But that's going to fix a lot of the issues, because that probably does make up about 95% of the instances. But for the other 5% of like people in mid-game, late game, particularly late game, that need to maybe replace out like a 1 week inactive guild leader or something, I don't know. But stuff like that would still have to be done through support. But yeah, I don't know if they're adding any other method other than just the timer one.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
When is the update coming? Before the end of the year. Likely within the next week. No official date has been given though. But it's likely sometime next week, almost guarantee. I don't know why, but it's normally around like the 15th. What does the 15th fall as? Though based on when they normally do updates, it probably should be more towards Tuesday, like the 11th. 15 would actually be next Saturday, so they're definitely not doing it that day. But yeah, sometime next week seems pretty viable. That or the 17th maybe, or 18th, like right at the beginning of that other week. But definitely before the holidays, it should be going out. It has to be this year, or otherwise it's going to get delayed till mid-January. Okay, should only need a few dozen more kills. And, oh wait, never mind. Oh no, we're not in PvP right now. I forgot these kills don't actually count towards it. I was thinking like all we have to do is kill literally anything, but it does have to specifically be PvP. We're still probably only a few dozen away though, like 50 or so. But we're not gaining any by doing this. But we are gaining the pet, which we still need. From a total resource gained aspect, what is the best farming? PvP. Spamming PvP over and 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 over again is the overall best resource gain in the entire game. Particularly casual PvP, though if you're trying for PvP leaderboard, I guess you could do normal PvP too. That or if you're trying for higher trophies or slightly higher glory amount. It's just with casual PvP, you get the luxury of repicking at a low cost of only 50 gold instead of a gem. But normal PvP does normally have higher variation of battles, which is nice. But yeah, PvP has pretty much always been the best method for farming in this game. And currently it has all pets. I mean, it has all gnomes available in it. It has ingots. It has trophies, one of the highest trophy rates in the entire game, only behind Arena. It has a decent glory rate. It has the best gold rate. It has, which is probably the most relevant part, is it has the best gold rate. It has, let's see what other things. EXP is the same as anywhere else. It's not the absolute highest EXP, but it's still decent EXP. You get 2 EXP towards your hero class as well per win that you do instead of 1. And there's probably a few other factors I'm forgetting. Yeah, PvP is overall the best thing that you can be doing from a resource perspective. Well, gold is valuable in the sense that you need it for several things. You need it for guilds, you need it for delves, and you need it just for standard upgrading of stuff, like the initial kingdoms and all that. Which I guess technically goes under the category of delves as well. Or under the category of kingdom upgrading slash faction upgrading. Hello, Killer Puppet and Ofer, welcome. But it's also just the factor of how much quicker PvP gains gold compared to anywhere else. The second, PvP is anywhere from about 5 to 10 times quicker than the second best gold farming method that isn't PvP. Which is probably one of the biggest difference of resource gains of anything. Yeah, that's another factor too. You will always need gold throughout the entirety of this game, but you do eventually reach a point where you technically don't need souls. For example, the 21.6 million gold we have right now may be a slight surplus, but we need every single one of those golds. Whereas the souls, we have about 3.6 million. However, we did not need a single one of these souls until they add more content that requires souls. Well, I guess we need some of them. We need a few 100,000 of them. But the rest of it we don't really need. Whereas, like, of this 3.5 million souls, we only need a few 100,000 of it. Whereas this 21.6 million gold, we need literally every single one of those, down to the 3. So it's always valuable for stuff. Like, even if we wanted to right now, we could use that gold to go and start upgrading these hordes a little bit further if we wanted to go get all those higher. But, yeah, we're always going to be needing it. Whereas souls, there's not much we can actually dump it into right now, even if we wanted to try dumping it into something. Where to start a new account now with everything as is? What would be a timeline strategy for success? I've been meaning to build a video on that. It's still something I want to do before the end of this year. I still haven't gotten around to it, but it's a really important video I do want to get to. Long story short, though, is focus on treasure maps, arena, and PvP, and make sure you get into a decent guild. But I will be having a video extensively going over that in the very near future in great detail. I mean, not great detail, but you know. Enough that it'll be all the main information without going too overboard, so that's easy to understand. Also, make sure to unlock all of the specific stuff that you need for dailies. That includes Sinner Mirage, or basically all the kingdoms that you should do. Broken Spire, which you probably already have done. It's basically like the tutorial kingdom, basically. Broken Spire, which you need to do for Arena. Stormheim, because you need it for Titan hero class, which is the best hero class in the game, and the quicker you get it, the sooner you can start leveling it passively with everything you do. Blighted Lands, because you need it for Soulforge. Drifting Sands, because you need it for daily dungeons. Sinner Mirage, because you need it for the Underworld, though that one you'd probably want to save for a little bit later, because Underworld at a lower level is relatively hard to do. Though I guess you could just camp level 20 and Crypt would be fine to do. And was that it? Yeah, really that was all the kingdoms you need to do. And then you just go on to do things like Treasure Hunt spam, and then once you've done Treasure Hunt spam for a little bit, you then just go on to PvP with all the stuff you got, as well as Arena, either or. Arena you do for souls, and PvP you do for gold in early game. Because you wouldn't have any viable soul farming methods other than Arena that early in the game when first starting out.
Mana surge. Mana surge.
It's one of the few instances where Arena is actually insanely good, is newer players. Also, they're probably buffing it next year as well. That and Treasure Hunt. The two things that newer players tend to use a lot. That's like the only people that play both those two game modes for the most part. With a few exceptions. Yeah, even somewhat newer players probably wouldn't even mind the walkthrough, because it's it still goes over mid-game stuff too. I'd be covering literally everything from starting a brand new account all the way to getting to about level 500 or so. Or, you know, to like mid-game, or even a little bit further than mid-game. Yeah, it'll definitely be out by the end of this year. Just haven't had the time lately. So that reminds me, they really need to fix the whole border movement thing on this game. They made it so it's a lot harder to move the borders on this game, but it's still possible to move the borders on this game, which is really weird, because now it's almost even worse now. Because now if I accidentally move the borders like I just did, I don't know if you can notice it, there's probably like a small black line all the way to the right now. But it got ever so slightly smaller. But now if I want to go fix it, I have to go into the resolution settings and then move it back and all that. But if they had it so I could just swipe it over to the left now, just go back to normal. But I can't, because even though I just accidentally did that, recreating that is hard to do, because it's set up in a way that you can't really move the borders, but you still can. It's weird. It's only a PC issue, obviously. No other platform would have that issue, but it's still annoying. Anyways, let me go fix that real quick. Like, if you see my things, it's off by 1 pixel now. I know that means almost nothing, but still it bothers me. It's 1 pixel off. There we go. Okay, now it's fixed. I have fixed the pixel. That bothers me way too much. More than it should. I don't mind streaming though, it's a lot of fun. How can you obtain Cedric? Cedric's Sparkle Sack is obtained from Vault Keys. Vault Keys are obtained from various events like Raids, Explorer, the current class event, I believe. No, never mind, the current class event doesn't have it. But Raids, Explorer, the Delve events on Tuesdays, and stuff like that all have Vault Keys available that you can accumulate. They also drop off of gnomes, though realistically the only time you're ever going to get them off of gnomes is during Vault events, which occur about once every month for weekends, where gnomes appear more often as well as Vault Keys on them. But yes, it's a random drop off of Vault Keys. Exact drop rate is about 1 in 10 or 1 in 15 per Vault Key that you do, which is obviously a pretty high drop rate, though the problem is, of course, getting a lot of Vault Keys to actually get that. But yeah, he's exclusively only in Vault Keys. There is no other way currently to obtain him, other than very luckily getting him off a legendary task. I believe can still do it, and that's about it. Oh, that reminds me, I still haven't done a redeem code, though I did say I would do it as soon as we get this event completed. How far are we? We only need 45 more kills, so in 45 more kills, we'll give out the redeem code. Shouldn't take too long. And then whatever we still need for hero, we can just go spam and explore. Get it done quicker. When is the next Vault Key event? Next Vault Key event is... I need to go double check. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. Next Vault Key event is... Let's see... One moment. I believe it's sometime this month. Vault. December 14th. The weekend of December 4th. Oh, next weekend. Next weekend is the next Vault event. So yeah, all next weekend is next Vault event. From next Friday until Monday reset is the Vault event. So if you're free next weekend, it'd be a good time to farm it up like crazy. You'd be able to get a lot of Vault Keys as well as other good resources like gem keys, event keys, gems in general, and a few other small resources that can accumulate over time. Gives quite a bit of glory too. You can actually get the quickest glory rates in the entire game during it. Like absurdly high. Like using glitches, I think you can get upwards of probably 50,000 glory per hour or something. Which is an absurd amount given that you can normally only get like 1,000 to 2,000 per hour. I'm not sure if they actually banned for that though. People that actually exploit to get that much glory per hour. There are methods that can be used to get that much glory though. Actually, maybe not that high. It's probably more towards like 10,000 per hour. But still, there are methods that actually can exploit to that high. Realistically, it's more like 1,000 to 2,000 per hour, though. Probably more towards 2,000 during a glory event. I mean, during a gnome event. Where do you find the valuable information? The second link in the description goes over all of that. Or I believe the second link is specifically the... Oh, wait! Yeah, there, it's still there. But Terran's World. That link right in there. The one that's specifically there is on the upcoming troops. But if you go back to the main menu of that page, it brings you to a whole database of a bunch of spoilers, new troops that are coming, new events that are coming, all the pets, and you know, other stuff like that. It has the list of all that stuff there. But yeah, second link in the description. So I really need to tidy up that description. It's all over the place. I think I should only need about 7 more battles or so, and that should be all the kills we need. And then whatever we're missing on the weapon, we can simply just go do in Explore. what is the Stormheim class and what makes it the best? It is Titan, and what makes it the best is... Oh, there's so many things. Let's see. It gets to stun the enemy every single time it gets hit with skulls. It has a 50% mana start to all giants, which is particularly relevant mainly because it has really good synergy with within its own kingdom, which is very rare for a hero class. But it also ends up having a lot of stuff in other kingdoms that are also really good, because there's all 6 of the trolls, the ones that double specific colors, are all giants, so you can get extra mana on all of them. Plus there's a few other giants here and there in other kingdoms that are pretty decent. Other than that, it has a gain 1 life every extra turn. It's the only hero class that actually has a method of gaining a lot of life off extra turn spamming. There are perks that also have that, like under Divine, but none of them specifically have it underneath their traits. Other than that, it has basically every immunity in the game. Not every immunity. It has some of the more relevant ones like stun immunity, Death Mark immunity, Devour immunity, stuff like that. It has on its final perks. It has a single explode onto a yellow every single time it extra turns, which can also be interchanged for an enrage for higher skull damage, though generally you use it for the mana accumulation aspect of it. Though tonight when we go and finish out the delve for Primal Rift, we're likely going to be using the enrage for it, just because it would help out the type of stuff we'll be hitting, since we need to hit through their traits. Stun would also assist with that. Other than that, what else does Titan do? Let's see. Oh, and it also, I didn't even mention the most relevant factor of it. It has Brown Storm into gaining barrier every time it takes Brown. That aspect alone makes it pretty much, in itself, even if it had no other factor, the best hero class in the game. Simply because Brown Storm into Infinite Brown's barrier is really, really good. It essentially has perpetual barrier forever. Meaning you'll almost never die unless you get hit by Skull Spam or something that does a lot of multiple instances of damage very quickly, like Infernus or something else like that. I know, it's probably easier mentioning what Titan doesn't do rather than what it does. It covers almost anything you would ever want a hero class to do, which is why it's considered so good. It also has the added benefit of being very versatile, in that you can use it for absolutely any role in the entire game. Whereas many other hero classes, while there are occasional instances where they have factors that are better than Titan, they are generally so specific that you can't use them for many things, whereas Titan can be used for any role in the game. For example, Assassin is really good at Skull Spam, but it can only ever be used for Skull Spam. It can't be used for anything like casting or any other role. It can only do Skull Spam. And there's a lot of hero classes that are like that, like Priest class. It's a really good support class, but it can only ever be used as a support class. It can never be used in like Skull Spam and stuff like that, or if you do, it's not going to be as effective. Whereas Titan does all those things. It does casting, it does support, it does Skull Spam, it does pretty much any role you would ever want for your hero. And has perks that can interchangeably switch between them. And there's, unlike switching hero classes, which has a 50 gem cost currently, Titan has the capability, or all hero classes have the capability of switching their perks anytime they want. But Titan has really nice ones that can switch basically its role anytime you need it. And then, ironically, with them switching, or making it so there's a 50 gem cost to all hero classes, it has basically made it so you have to use Titan. Not just because of how strong it is, but also because its perks allow you to change the role of your hero class without paying the 50 gems of actually changing your hero class, which is one of the only few hero classes that are like that, or pretty much the only one. There are a few others that are kind of like that, but not as good as how Titan does it. I am a gems encyclopedia, pretty much. If you ever need any information about the game, I probably know it, for the most part. I'm pretty much like that with every game I ever play for a long duration of time. Though there's very, very few games I have a complete working knowledge of. At this current moment in time, it's pretty much just Gems of War and possibly still Old School RuneScape. I haven't played Old School RuneScape for several months now. But the meta hasn't really shifted much since then. Let's see, we'll take the red. Or I don't think it has. I haven't been following it. RuneScape's one of those kind of games where I've played it and quit it multiple times. So I'm pretty sure a couple of years from now I'll be playing it again. Who knows? But I don't know. The biggest thing with Old School RuneScape, I feel, is it doesn't feel like Old School RuneScape anymore. It just feels like another version of a RuneScape. Also, after this battle, we should pretty much have the reward. Okay, are we done? I think we are, and if not, we only should need like 10 more or so. Yep, we're done. There we go. Oh, exactly! Right on the dot, 750. And we get 120 gems, the highest amount of gems you can ever accumulate at once via a weekly task, which is a really good amount. Highly advise getting that. That's basically the class event paying for it right there. That's 150 gems. Class event takes 250 to complete. Actually, probably not even that many. I might have overspent on it because we get another 4 free battles tomorrow, yet we're probably going to be able to finish it with the current battles we have. So we probably could have saved like another 100 or 150, meaning that gems alone is pretty much enough to get done the weekly or the weekend new class event that's currently going on right now. But anyways, that's that. Let's go give out a redeem code, and then we still have one other thing I need to get done, which is farming up this weapon, and ideally getting this level 40. But the main one I want to do is just get this weapon. I can still go over all the perks without actually having the perks, but I can't go over this weapon without having this weapon, which we need 45 more wins for until we get it for free without having to spend the absurd amount of gems for it. But yeah, we're almost there. That won't take any time at all. We can get it done like 15 minutes in Explorer or less. But before I do, let's go and get our redeem code. Let me go find where the redeem code is. Let's see. X out of this. Also, good afternoon, Zeddicus. Welcome. Let's see. Why does it say I don't have a connection? There we go. That was weird. For like a split second, it's like, no connection. Let's see. Oh, wait. Why am I clicking reply? Click edit. Mark it so we know we used it. Copy. Save it. And put it into the code thingy. Make sure it works. And it does indeed work. Claim it for both the accounts. Put the whole thing in there. Copy. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Copy. And there we go. That should be the right one, right? Yeah, that should be fine. That should work. Okay, there you guys go. And there's the redeem code. Use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Same place as always, or just simply click that link that's over there. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Whatever your game says there is what you put in. Redeem code, of course, is right there, as well as just copy paste it from chats over there. And same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, and 2,500 gold. There we go. Okay, now let's go to this Explorer real quick and finish this out within like seconds. No, it's gonna take like 10-15 minutes. But let's go and do that. I don't know where we need more trade stones from. So I guess we'll double check, might as well. We're gonna be there for a okay amount of time, plus we'll know into the future. Let's go check our trade stones. Whichever arcane is the lowest is the one we'll go do. I believe I have one that is drastically lower than everything else. Yeah, red-blue is where we need to be going. Mr. Scales is currently our lowest arcane, it looks like. So, Mr. Scales it is. Actually, I might as well just get to it from here. It's the only red-blue, so get there. Not the team I want to use, though. This is the team I want to use. Actually, oh no, we have to use the hero class on it. Maybe we don't have to, but we could technically replace our Forest Guardian with the new troop that came out. You know what? I don't know, do we? I don't think we do, actually. As about to. We get 400 extra gold per battle, which is a lot of gold, but it's going to slow down the speed at which we win, which probably isn't worth it, though checking the troop menu is also slowing us down, apparently, because it wants to take forever to load. But no, let's do it the normal way without the extra gold. But you can get extra gold this week if you go use the new troop in here. If you wanted to power level that way while gaining a decent amount of gold. Still less overall than PvP with a gold farming team, but still, it's not bad. It's at least a decent rate. Hey, and a furnace. Oh yeah, we got our guild full. I believe we're full, unless we missed the slot again. No. I'll need to check activity to see if everyone's active, but yeah, we're currently full. Okay, what was the other thing I wanted to go check while I was in there? Oh yes, I want to see if we're done with Tower of Doom yet. I'm probably still going to do Tower of Dooms tonight, yeah. We're not done with Tower of Doom, so we'll do all the rest of our Dooms tonight. And then we'll have the Major Orb tomorrow, at some point. Once we get our extra battles from that. Let's see, where are we currently? We're number 7 in our guild. And we can easily take number 2. Though technically some of these people might actually be the real highest just because they were helping us scout. Whereas I haven't helped a single time yet to scout, unfortunately. Sometimes I do, or last time I did. This time around I actually didn't scout out a single room. Oh, come on, we're one short of a attack buff right there. Oh well, not gonna make too big a difference. We're actually ranked 95. Ouch. Oh, I wonder if we're gonna have the same thing happen again. Last time, there wasn't even 100 guilds that completed the event. And currently, that seems to be the case. You need, what, 700 kills? I believe it's 700 kills. Yeah, you need 700 kills in order to complete this event. Which means at this current moment in time, only 60 guilds have completed the event on PC and mobile. And last time, I believe it was 93 or 98 or something. Yeah, I know it wasn't all of them. It was just very short of it being all of them. But yeah, right now, only 60 guilds have completed it. Obviously, way more by the end of the week are going to have it done. Probably 100 this time, because where we're currently standing, we can easily go get all rewards. It's not going to be that hard. But yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone here could probably reach that point. Some somewhat big guilds are down here too, like Tyrant, not Rostblown 2, Mean Machine, other stuff. Actually, probably most of these are. It's just some of them I don't recognize the names. But yeah, we'll probably get it done, and there'll probably be 100 this time around. The leaderboard doesn't really gain much. Unless you're really making top 10, it's the reward for it's almost nothing. Also, let's go back to Mr. Scales. Back to Mr. Scales Explorer. I go there for like 1 second and then stop. Oh yeah, it is really hard on the fingers. My hands are still like all bruised up. Like you can see how red that is compared to the rest of my hands. It was even worse yesterday. But it's yeah, it's really hard on the hands just because of how quick you need to constantly react. It's also highly advised using a wired controller for that reason. I use the new one that actually came out. This came out the 23rd of last month. It's the text is probably switched on it, but it's a controller made by Power A, officially licensed by Nintendo. You can even see the Switch logo thingy on it. But it's not actually made by Nintendo, but made by Power A. It's they've made Pro controllers as well and stuff, but it's basically a GameCube-styled Pro controller, kind of. It has all the normal stuff of a... it's the cheapest controller, too, for the console. It's only $25. It's a USB, basically GameCube controller. It's not actually a GameCube controller, like you can't use it on a GameCube. But, you know, you can use it for things like Smash. You can use it for... I've been using it for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for when I ended up completing out the game, stuff like that. Anything that doesn't need motion controls. It doesn't have rumble or anything, but for only $25, it is a insanely good controller. And it's a lot cheaper than doing the alternative of getting a GameCube controller, because if you use the official, most recently released GameCube controller, like the actual GameCube controller, it's $30 plus you need the adapter, which I believe is $25. So you're spending $55 for something that performs pretty much equivalently to this thing. And it also has the little button thingies. It unlike a GameCube controller, it has the plus and minus button, the home button, and the screenshot button. So it has all the buttons that a Pro controller has for the Switch. It basically has everything a Pro controller does, except it's wired, which is actually a benefit since there's less input delay, and it doesn't have rumble, which theoretically could be better in a game where you don't necessarily want rumble like Smash. But yeah, it's a really nice controller. Highly advise it, especially since it's so cheap. Also, I could theoretically use it for PC gaming too. It is a USB controller after all, so all the inputs would work for any PC game. Haven't actually tried using it for that purpose, though I probably should just for fun one day. We could probably even play Gems of War with it. Actually, with that being said, I almost feel like plugging it in just to test it. I'm not going to right now, though, because my cords are all over the place, and trying to figure out which one of these cords is this controller is going to be annoying. Oh, that's another nice thing. You might notice that, where's the wire? It actually has a detachable wire. It actually is a wired controller, it's detachable. So if you want to go and just move it to the side, or because it's too bulky, which it is, you can just do that, so it's not in the way of all your wiring and everything. Yeah, it's pretty nice. GameCube controller, I do have to say, is probably Nintendo's best controller. Or at least my personal favorite. The GameCube era has some of the best games ever created. Or that Nintendo has ever created. It was the start of Pikmin, it was the start of Animal Crossing, it was the start of Luigi's Mansion, Mario Sunshine. Sonic Adventure 2 was actually pretty nice. It wasn't the start of the whole thing, though. It was the prime years of the Mario Party series. A lot of other stuff. It had Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild. It had Wind Waker, and a bunch of other good stuff. The list is too... Oh! And probably one of the biggest ones. The list is too long for me to even remember all of them. But it had Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, the best RPG that has ever been made by Nintendo from a Nintendo asset aspect, like, you know, using like the Mario brand or anything like that. It is basically what every single RPG they ever make needs to be. I don't know why all the current Paper Marios don't look anything like 1,000-Year Door, but 1,000-Year Door is an insanely good game. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. Not the best RPG ever, but it's the best Nintendo-themed RPG that they've ever made. Why not use Imperial Jewel in this team? We could. There's no reason not to. We could. All excess mana would go to it. There's just not as much of a need to. Bronze Lock Pistol was still accumulating pretty much as much as that would be gaining because of how many colors we're blocking. We'd only be able to get one additional color, and that would be nothing. Never mind. We're not gaining any additional color from using the Jewel, so there's no point in actually using Jewel. We'd be gaining the exact same amount that we're currently gaining now, because this is blocking red and purple, this is blocking green and yellow, and Bronze Lock is brown and blue, which are the only two other colors. So there's no point in using Jewel on this team. Depending on your composition, it could be. If, let's say, these two only covered like 2 or 3 colors, and then you could have Jewel covering the other 3. But we're only covering 2 colors, which is the exact same that Bronze Lock is covering now. What do I use for my PC and streaming? My laptop right now is just a old MSI computer that I ended up getting, or laptop that I ended up getting right before I started college. and I've still had it since, and it's still been running fine. It's quite damaged and looks awful visually if I was to actually show the laptop, because it has like keys missing on the keyboard, and well, the keyboard's beyond repair. I just use a USB keyboard because the current keyboard I have is just abysmal right now. But it's seen better days, but it still functions, still gets the job done. But just using that with 8 GB, a decent graphics card, and I forget what all the specs are off the top of my head. But other than that, as far as what I use to stream, I record all my videos with OBS, and all of my streams are OBS Studio. Both programs are 100% free. It would technically be more efficient to use both of them in OBS Studio, but I just like having them separate. I keep all my recording stuff in OBS and all my streaming stuff in OBS Studio, just so it's divided a little bit better. OBS Studio does have a lot more features, though. Also, I don't believe they actually do updates to OBS anymore. It's currently in a really good state, though, but they've only really been updating OBS Studio, I believe. Not exactly sure why they made the whole division with it, but they're both free, so it doesn't really matter too much. Hello, Jose. Welcome. You moved Forest Guardian down. Oh yeah, I guess you could move Forest Guardian down so you use 4 colors. That makes sense. If you don't intend to ever cast it. Because we almost never cast it unless we had literally no other option but to cast it. In which case, I guess Imperial Jewel would be a little bit better, but would Imperial Jewel ever have enough damage to kill? I guess it could. Doesn't Imperial Jewel only have about 20-something damage, though? Pretty sure it's not that high. Same as Bronze Lock, but Bronze Lock has extra turn potential. Imperial Jewel does not. Let me go check. I'm pretty sure Imperial Jewel is about the same damage as Bronze Lock. If anything, it's probably less because Bronze Lock gets the extra 5. So Bronze Lock has 27 damage, plus whatever it destroys off the board, so that's like at minimum 30 damage. Whereas Imperial Jewel is... oh, it actually is more damage, 32. It is ever so slightly more damage. I never realized that. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for... click back. Looking for its perks. Let's see. Gain 10 gold, Fairy Fire first enemy, though I believe that happens after the damage, not before. Gain 2 to a random skill, life, so none of that actually helps with damage. But yeah, it actually does have possibly more damage than Bronze Lock. Bronze Lock is 27 plus whatever it destroys off the board. And Imperial Jewel is 32. So yeah, okay. I guess we could actually try that then. We could do it now then. Explore. Move that down. Move that down. Actually, might as well just put that in front of the firebomb. But then again, I'm so used to using it there, I'll keep it there. I really highly doubt Sunbird's going to get that much red mana. And then we'll go Imperial Jewel. Technically, it would be better using Hero up one higher slot, but I'm just so used to having Firebomb there. I guess we'll move it. We'll get used to it in the other location. But yeah, I guess we could do it like that. So Sunbird, Imperial Jewel, Firebomb, Forest Guardian. And it plays out basically the same way, just without the extra turn thingy. And we cast that, and if it doesn't win, we throw Imperial. Yeah, we could be using Bargist for 400 extra gold every single battle. I'm aware of that, I'm just not doing that at the moment. Mainly because the main thing we're trying to do right now is get wins for Hero. And we already have enough gold that the little bit extra gold isn't going to make too big a difference. I'd rather have the slightly quicker speed. I keep wanting to click there because that's normally where my firebomb is. Fail. Haven't even needed to cast it once yet. It almost looks like a normal team other than that one. Let's see, how close are we? Should still need several battles, like a few dozen. Yep. Oh no, only 18 more. Right on top of it. And then we'll have the weapon. The weapon's pretty useless. It's basically like a weaker version of Rowan, but still want to get it and show it. It might be a bad weapon, but it's still a weapon. Oh, I just realized, Bronze Lock Pistol actually does have more damage than this weapon, though, doesn't it? It doesn't have it split, but it does have more damage. In that, well, it does kind of split it, because it hits first slot with skull damage and the 5 damage to first slot. And then you can just target something else with the other damage. But, and it does that in 3 different waves of damage. But, we're not currently getting 5 additional damage on our Bronze Lock right now, which is why it was lower. Whereas this is because it's covering every color. I forgot about that aspect. The Bronze Lock is slightly more damage, but it does have the benefit of splitting a little bit more evenly than Bronze Lock does. Bronze Lock tends to concentrate its damage on 1 or 2 targets, whereas that can split it on all of them if they're all very low for whatever reason. Yeah, you don't need a really high upgraded Sunbird to get away with using Sunbird. I know I used it on my low-level account while we didn't even have a single HP Kingdom. You have to cast it more times. You can't, like, one-shot like we're doing now. But you can still get away with 2-shotting. Or you cast Sunbird twice and kill out the entire enemy team. Or Sunbird Rowan and stuff like that. Even at lower stats, you can still get away with it. Just not this quickly. It'd be like half the speed, maybe even a little bit slower. But still, you'd be able to get away with it immediately as soon as you own them. Sunbird's relatively easy to obtain, but it can take some keys, some amount of keys sometimes, and get unlucky. Like, I think my other account only has 1 copy of it just because we got slightly unlucky, and it took us a while to get that 1 copy. We only need about a dozen more now. And then we get the weapon. The useless weapon, but still, it is a weapon nonetheless. And then we'll probably use it once and then never use it again. That's pretty much what we're going to do. I'll go upgrade it though, just so we have the perks and everything, so we can show what it looks like with the perks when we show it for the video later. And we got to save a bunch of gems because we didn't actually buy it with gems, which I highly advise almost never doing. I sometimes do it for new hero classes just to get a little bit quicker and to get some power leveling on and stuff, but it's normally not worth it. Especially since a lot of people tend to do it because it's a new hero class, which makes the leaderboard a lot more expensive to make. So you don't even get those 75 gems back or those extra free orbs. just because so many people are doing it during a new class event. It's one of the worst times to try going for it, for leaderboard, and for any of it, just because a lot more people are going, meaning it's going to cost more gems than normal. Of course, everything you're doing is going towards the XP of the new hero class, but still, generally not worth it. What team did you use for the class event? I was using the double Ketris team. I was using Hero using Mountain Crusher with 2 Ketris and a Soothsayer. Alternatively, we can also go and use Mang in first slot, followed by triple Soothsayer, or Mang in first slot, followed by the yellow-blue Epic in that kingdom, the Sun Weaver, followed by 2 Soothsayers or anything like that, would end up working. And obviously, you'd want to use Titan Hero class using the barrier on it and everything else that it has. Oh, so you may notice I have my Imperial Jewel non-upgraded. Oh wait, you know what? I actually should upgrade that slightly. I forgot to upgrade it to level 5. But there actually is a reason why I don't have it higher than level 5. All those affixes that do anything do a very small slight delay after you do them. Like it does your normal ability and then it does all those affixes that it has on it. And this basically means the weapon takes longer to cast. In many instances, this is worth the extra time, but in the case of this weapon, it is not worth the extra time. So, generally, there are weapons that strategically actually keep non-upgraded, even if they eventually fix it so that weapons don't have any negative perks. It is still a factor that in super quick speed teams where you're winning within like 15 seconds or 20 seconds, that the extra abilities that you have on them are actually going to slow down the overall rate of your win. Like in PvP, that generally wouldn't matter, just because the battles take a little bit longer and stuff, but in other game modes. But we wouldn't even want to go as far as gaining 4 life, because it's going to take about 1 extra second each time for us to gain that life and the extra skill and the fairy fire and the gold, and that's going to take about 1 second. And that starts adding up to be a lot of time over the course of all these battles. But yeah, I actually can do this to level 5, because that actually doesn't reduce the time at all. It just gives us extra stats. But going any further than that would actually make this weapon weaker, not stronger. So be careful. There's a lot of instances of that in this game, unfortunately. But oh, and we already got the weapon. I didn't realize we already hit it. Oh, nice. Oh, there we go. Fire Ruby Staff. That's the weapon for getting 250 wins on the hero class. And the thing that we've been trying to get for all this time now. So it deals scatter damage, boosted by attack, life, and armor, and then gives allies 2 to all skills, which is actually a decent amount of skill gain. That's 32 total skill gain, and that does mean that they're gaining a little bit of magic and all that. It's an okay weapon. It's basically alternative Rowan. Rowan in most instances I would still say is better. But at least it's a hero version of it now, so you can use it with any hero class, including Titan, if you wanted to. So it has that benefit going towards it. It's also a staff, so you could give it some extra magic that way if you really wanted to. But anyways, let's go mess around with the staff real quick and see what we can even do with it. Not even sure what I want to go do with it, but since we have it, might as well go test it real quick. Let's see, do we have any dailies worth doing at the moment? Not really. Actually, I should probably go repick some of them or do something with them, because they've been sitting there for a while. Replacement for Yasmin's Chosen. Generally, Sylvanie Mora is your replacement for Yasmin Chosen. There's 3 replacements depending on the context of your team. Web Spinner, if you're using her for greens, is generally the replacement. Sylvanie Mora, if you're using her for delves, is normally the replacement. And that's about it. Those are like the main 2. Web Spinner, if you need it for greens, is basically the same thing. And Sylvanie Mora, if you need it for Entangle, it's relatively similar, just in a different way. Okay, what was I about to go do? Weapon. Let's go make a team real quick out of it. See what we can do with it. Okay, so let's go with Shaman Weapon. I forget what it's called. I'm just going to call it Shaman Weapon. Shaman Weapon. Problem now. I don't know what it's called, so we got to go find it. Let's see. If we do it under staff, it'll bring it up. I know it's a staff. There it is. Fire Ruby Staff. We could try using it in some kind of team where we use it very similarly to a Rowan, except without armor buff. Could even do Green Seer Giant Spider Loop into it and then just throw it down. Oh yeah, what are the perks? Someone mentioned it to me earlier, but I didn't actually remember what it was. Gain Enrage, burn first enemy, gain 4 life, gain Enchant, which is the most relevant part of any of these, and gain 5 additional damage. Well, scatter damage, but it's already doing that type of damage, so it's just extra. Plus it gains 2 magic there, not too bad. A little bit of attack, a little bit of life, a little bit of everything. Except armor, but armor's not even that good, so it's fine. Okay, it's okay. Mainly the enchant being viable there. We could theoretically use this on first slot since it does have that enrage already baked into it, so that's nice. Not quite sure why it has enrage though. This seems a little bit weird for a staff to have. It's more of like a axe or mace or kind of other weapon like that kind of thing. Particularly axe or something, or warhammer. But anyways, we'll go with that. Just trying to think of what I want for the rest of my team. I guess we'll just go Green Seer Giant Spider first. Probably one of the more easier things to compose for this and keep spamming over and over again. So we got this, and what other aspect do we need of this? We need another supporting thing for this. What can really support this well? I guess a Queen Titania, but we're creating the color for it. We're not going to have a lot of reds on the board though. But we can get away with doing this for the Fairy Fire, just so we do more damage off of our weapon, just as support. And then we could eventually just get one cast to clean it up with Queen Titania, or inverse of that, we do Queen Titania, then we do the one cast of our scatter thing to clean up. And then we just go switch our banner to this, so we have +2 purple. Oh, the wrong one. Where'd it go? I'm looking for the Frozen banner. There it is. So we'll go with Frozen banner, that gives us the +2 blue, +2 purple. Because our extra purple for Giant Spider, and we'll just roll with that and see what we can do with this. Should be okay. So we'll take all that mess, get our Giant Spider, throw this down onto anything that's an extra turn, as long as it's not green. Then we throw this on anything that's not an extra turn, as long as it's not purple. And just basically keep doing that. Ideally, we don't want to convert out red as well, but I guess we get rid of it. We don't really need 13 plus reds because we're really only going to be using her once. I guess we kind of would still need it then. But double check the board. Any extra turns? Doesn't look like it. Let's get a hit down. And that just gains its thing. We'll just go use Green Seer again and repeat the cycle. If it doesn't die. What are you doing, dying to burn? What do you think you're doing? Okay, we'll go just get greens up. Giant Spider slightly blocking us. We can actually lose this battle just because of how much damage he has. Get a Queen Titania on it. Get some kills in there just so we don't have to deal with it as much. Take the red down. Get mana. Go throw herself a... I'll take a skull for now. And we'll throw this back down again. It's a Dawnbringer, isn't it? Yes, it is. So now we're not going to do any damage to him. We could actually lose this. No, my weapon! Our new weapon! It dies to Infernus Ubistet. Ubistet didn't actually get the cast though. Come on now. Try it again against the exact same team pretty much? No. Let's see, let's get a... Can we stop getting Infernus? There we go. It's still an annoying team, but it's fine. But yeah, weapon obviously we already knew it's not anything too over the top. Rowan's better than it. If Rowan's better than it, then you got a problem. No, Rowan's not a horrible troop. It's actually pretty decent. But Rowan rip-off troops generally, or weapons as well, generally aren't nearly as good. She's higher risk, high reward, which is why she does so much damage. Because if you lose her armor, she loses all of her damage. But if you give her a bunch of armor, she does absurd damage. And generally other split damage, like, pitiful compared to her damage just because of how high risk, high reward she is. and it's generally worth the risk. Yeah, basically we just have to cast that twice or 3 times, it looks like, actually. And I'll just clear it out. Don't forget Queen of Tanya in there, we'll only need it twice. Because Queen of Tanya will almost wipe out the rest of this team. Too bad we don't have anything on this team that uses green infinitely. Like, if this created any amount of green, that'd be insanely good. Even if it was only 1 green, I would almost say it'd be worth it. Though if it could create, like, 3 greens, that'd be amazing. Or higher than that, up like some kind of perk or something. But anyways, restore Queen to... Oh, sure, take an extra turn. Throw Queen to Tanya, wipe it out with this, and that's match. Always do your AoE before you do your scatter, because your scatter will just clean up whatever's left. And he has barrier, of course. Too bad it doesn't have Dispel. That could have been another... Or that could have been a nice little alternative to make it better than... Rowan in some instances. If instead of doing all these random stats or something, it dispelled all enemies. If they were to make a split damage that dispels all enemies before a cast, so that it can then hit through barrier. There is one split damage that technically does that, and that's that scatterbug thing, whatever it's called. That does 2 instances of split damage, but that doesn't actually remove the barrier. It just happens to do 2 instances of damage, with both instances being relatively small damage. But it'd be pretty cool if they added a dispel option of it. No weapon currently does that. A dispel into a split. But anyways, that's the weapon. Is it good? Obviously not. But it's a nice alternative for early game for Rowan. When you don't have a lot of armor or anything like that, so it's still pretty nice. It's not one of the better weapons, obviously. It's no Dragon's Eye. It's not a Mountain Crusher or something. But it still has its purpose in there. But anyways, guys, did you guys have any other questions? Otherwise, that was pretty much everything I needed to get done. Just mainly get the hero class thing, the event done, and the weapon. We'll be covering the hero class as well as the mythic within the next day or 2. It's going over teams and, you know, normal stuff with all of that. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much everything. We'll be back later tonight, 7 hours from now at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to go and do a bunch of... We'll probably switch back to our normal hero class, our Titan, and go to finish out Delves, go and finish out Tower of Doom for the week, and all that good stuff. And then tomorrow we'll have the see what the new event stuff is for next week. And then also next Friday we have the Treasure Gnome event, which we'll be able to accumulate a bunch of resources off of that for all next weekend. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for coming down. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all later. Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy the holidays. Smash stream today. I probably will not be doing a Smash stream today, just because I'm going to be playing with some friends and other stuff. And I don't really want to stream that. Just because I don't know what they might say or anything like that, so... but yeah. Eventually... I might stream it with other people and stuff, but for now I wouldn't want to, because it would probably get demonetized so quickly without some of them talk. So also, I'm pretty shy in those kind of dynamics anyways. The more people that are talking, I'm just kind of get squirmish. But no, we will be streaming Smash again, maybe tomorrow, but today no, unfortunately. But anyways, we'll be back later. I'll see you all later. And have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye.